Ever wonder why some people can instantly earn respect, build trust, or control conversations? Like they're reading a secret manual? They probably are. And it's all rooted in psychology. Today, you'll discover 8 powerful psychology tricks that are rarely taught in school. But once you learn them, you'll never see social situations the same way again. Let's unveil the secrets. Here's a psychological weapon most people overlook: silence. Most people rush to fill gaps in conversations because silence feels awkward. But when used intentionally, silence becomes a powerful tool. After someone speaks, a pause creates subtle pressure, and most people will keep talking, revealing more than they intended. This tactic is used by skilled negotiators, therapists, and even interrogators, not by accident, but by design. Silence makes people uncomfortable, and when they're uncomfortable, they reveal their thoughts. Try it. Next time you're in a deep conversation, just listen, and don't say a word. You'll be amazed at what people say when you say nothing at all. Eye contact is one of the most powerful non-verbal tools we have, but most people use it wrong. They either stare too much and come off as aggressive, or avoid it and seem insecure. The key is what psychologists call the eye contact switch. When you're listening, look at one eye, then switch to the other slowly every few seconds. When you're speaking, look between the eyes, right at the bridge of the nose. This keeps your gaze steady without making the other person feel uncomfortable. Bonus tip: if you want to assert dominance, hold eye contact for just a second longer than feels natural, then look away slowly. It gives the impression of calm confidence, and people will remember it. Here's a strange but powerful one. If you want someone to like you, ask them for a small favor. It might sound backward, but psychology proves it works. This is called the Benjamin Franklin effect. When someone does you a favor, their brain subconsciously justifies it by deciding they must like you. Why else would they help you? Psychologists at Stanford found that people who did small favors for others were significantly more likely to report liking the person afterward. It's a subtle but powerful cognitive bias. And it works, because the mind wants to stay consistent with its actions. So instead of trying to impress someone, try asking them for help. You'll be surprised how quickly it builds connection and trust. Ever walk into a room and feel like everyone's watching you? Like your hair is off? Or you said something weird? That's the spotlight effect. The psychological illusion that others are paying way more attention to us than they actually are. Psychologists from Cornell University studied this by asking students to wear an embarrassing t-shirt. Then guess how many people noticed it? The students dramatically overestimated how many people cared. In reality, most people were too busy thinking about themselves to even notice. So what does this mean for you? It means you can speak up. Take that risk. Wear what you want. Say what you think. Because while you're busy worrying what others see, they're too busy thinking the exact same thing about themselves. The truth? No one's spotlight is on you, and that's your superpower. Want to get someone to say yes? Start by asking for something too big, on purpose. This is called the door in the face technique, and it's a powerful persuasion trick. Here's how it works. You make a large request that will likely be rejected. Then immediately follow it with a smaller, more reasonable one. The one you actually wanted. The result? People are far more likely to say yes to the second request because it feels like a compromise. Like you backed down, so they should too. Psychologists tested this by asking people to volunteer 2 hours a week for 2 years. Almost everyone said no. But when asked right after to just help once for 2 hours, compliance rates skyrocketed. It's all about contrast and perceived fairness. So the next time you want something, ask for more than you need, then come down to what you really want. Have you ever noticed how an incomplete task lingers in your mind more than a finished one? That's no accident. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik discovered that people tend to remember interrupted or unfinished tasks better than completed ones. In one experiment, participants who were interrupted while doing puzzles remembered 45% of them later. Those who completed the puzzles? Only 33% recall. This means if you want someone to keep thinking about something, like your idea, your product, or even you, don't give them closure. Leave a loop open. Plant curiosity. Make them wonder what's next. Because sometimes the unfinished is what stays with us the longest. Want to seem more likable, even if you're already skilled or confident? Make a small mistake, on purpose. It's called the pratfall effect, and it's backed by science. Psychologist Elliot Aronson found that people who are competent become more likable when they make a minor blunder, like spilling coffee or messing up a word. Why? Because it makes them more human, more relatable. Too much perfection, it creates distance. But a small flaw, it builds connection. That's why some of the most admired leaders and creators aren't flawless, they're real. So the next time you worry about messing up, remember, your small mistakes might actually win people over. Imagine trying on a $2,000 suit. Then someone offers you a $100 tie. Sounds cheap in comparison, right? That's the contrast principle in action, a mental shortcut your brain uses to judge things relative to what came before. We don't evaluate options in isolation. We compare them. Marketers use this all the time. Show you an expensive option first, then offer something cheaper. That still makes them a profit. The same works socially. Start with a bold idea. The next one seems reasonable. Begin with bad news. The follow-up feels lighter. Use contrast to frame how people perceive your message, your offer, or even your presence. Because people rarely judge things objectively. They judge in comparison. What if I told you people perform better just because you expect them to? This is known as the Pygmalion effect, a psychological phenomenon where higher expectations lead to better performance. In a famous study, teachers were told certain students were gifted. In reality, the students were randomly selected. But guess what? Those students ended up performing better, simply because the teachers believed they would. Expectations are powerful, whether it's at work, in relationships, or with yourself. When you expect the best, you often get it.